Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday, my favorite day of the week. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out with us. The Two Buck Sports Show is live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central on YouTube, though this is pre-recorded because if you're a fan of the show, you know that I am in training as we speak. Rusty, get off that, pay attention. And I'm learning new stuff at work. But because of that, we pre-record. Monday's not live, but we will be here live the rest of the week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But I got my guy Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck, hanging with me today. And Uncle Buck, I'm going to give you the Kirby Smart hand clap here as you come on stage, man. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I'm actually Team Kirby on this one. I'm sure we'll get into that in a minute.
Absolutely.
But listen, it is nice to be here. I've had a weekend in the woods. We will get to that in our Best of Beef segment. I'm glad to be here, man. The weather, I feel like, has finally turned the corner. Yeah. It is fall. Football is hot. And listen, we're going to talk all about it. Cannot wait. Can't wait.
We're going to creep back up in the mid-80s here in Memphis this week, but I do feel like the hottest days are behind us as we start to turn around. Major props to one Wayne Hunt, our brother from down under, the true honorary third buck, and Gabe Kuhn for filling in for Drew at the end of the week. You know, Gabe and I talk football all day Friday. It was a ton of fun just chopping it up, talking football like you and I do, but I'm glad to have you back. But big thank you to those guys for filling in for Drew at the end of the week. But Drew alluded to it. It's Monday. We start our Mondays the same way each and every week, and that is with our Best in Beef.
That is right. It is Monday on the Two Buck Sports Show. That means it is time for our Best and Beef segment of the week. And before we get into it, let me just tell you, thank you for being here. Happy Monday. If you're watching us on Twitter, please head on over to youtube.com/BluffCityMedia. If anybody's using a web browser, nobody uses a web browser. Just get in the app, hit the search bar, type in Bluff City Media, get in the chat here. I know all the locals will be here. All the norms will be here to hang out. I like to think that we have a pretty good show, but the real meat and potatoes, what we are most proud of, happens in the comment section. So
absolutely,
hop in over here. But this is our Best of Beef segment of the week. We do it on our very first segment of our very first show of the week, and that's because we're best friends of over a decade, and we don't talk as much on the weekends as one might think we do. And so we just like to recap each other on the happenings of the weekend. We boil it down to 2 points: the best thing that happened to us this weekend and our biggest beef of the weekend. So, Rusty, I set them up. You knock them down. Tell them about the sponsor and give us the best thing that happened to you this weekend.
Yes, sir. Each and every week, our Best in Beef is brought to you by the fine folks at Donna's Italian Beef, 509 Constitution Drive in Iuka, Mississippi. Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3, Saturday, 7 to 11 for your breakfast fix, your sack lunch on the way to Pickwick. They got biscuits and gravy, tenderloin biscuits. They got world-famous slug burgers. If you know, you know. Smash burgers. Jim always has a burger of the day. And if you go, tell them the $2 sent you. Jim will take care of you. And send us a picture. Put it on socials. We're at the number $2_BCM. There is a $2 symbol, picture, if you will, in that restaurant. So make sure when you go, you find it and take a picture, send it to our socials. We want to know that you win. But Jimmy the gang at Donna's Italian Beef will take good care of you.
That's right.
The best thing that happened to me this weekend, Drew, was I was back in one of my favorite places with my favorite lady. We went and watched the Memphis Grizzlies in the preseason game on Saturday night at the FedEx Forum.
I thought you were going to say the zoo with your mom, but okay.
No, they would have kept me as a Neanderthal for the exhibit. That's why I don't go to the zoo. But no,
R.I.P. to the orangutan, the Memphis Zoo.
To the real one, yeah, for sure. But yeah, so we went to the Grindhouse on Saturday night for the Grizzlies and the Hawks. We had tacos and ganas. We are actually we were Pinnacle 9 last year and Pinnacle 8 this year. It's a 4-seat row. There's only 4 seats. We're in seats 1 and 2. I should have bought 3 and 4, but that'd have been pricey. But I got 1 and 2. We sat there, and it was awesome. Nobody ever showed up in 3 and 4, so it's probably good that I didn't because nobody used them anyway. But it was great. Our favorite bartender was there. She's awesome that works the concession stand there. I believe her name is Deborah, I believe. I'm going to confirm that next time I know. I'm like, shout out to Deborah. That's your Deborah.
You know what? You know what Cousin Kirk says.
Yeah,
never trust a stripper named Deborah.
Deborah. But no, so she's great, and like she took really good care of us as always. She was super excited to see us because she was our bartender last year, and she recognized, hey, welcome back. So good to see y'all again. Are y'all in the same section? You know, talk to us. It's super nice. Yeah. And then when we went back to get our second round of beers, I asked her, I said, do y'all have popcorn here? And she was like, well, we will during the regular season, but we don't have it yet. She said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a pretzel for free. And I was like, all right, I like that. That sounds good.
I tell you what, I think that's the art of making a deal right there. Who says $99?
Now listen, I was buying two $15 beers, but I got a free pretzel out of the deal, which is not bad.
When you put it that way, it should be complimentary.
You win you take the victories you can. They're small. That pretzel is a $5, $6 pretzel, but you know it is what it is. We had a great time, even though the products on the court or the outcome on the court didn't end up being what we wanted. It was fun. Yeah. They've got some great new bits. They had one, it was a Michael Myers and Grizz bit where you had like the timer started and like somebody sprinted to the opposite free throw line. And you had to make a free throw line before Michael Myers or Grizz got down there, hit you with a pool doodle. And the two athletic looking dudes did not hit theirs, but the blonde lady in heels who didn't dribble a lick, like the other guys like dribbled down the court, missed their free throw. She just carried it like a football, sprinted to the other end, made her second shot for her free throw, won the game. They had the Blue Crew or the Blue Bunch, which is the little kid dancers. They were great. And then at halftime, we got treated to She Got Game League, kindergarten through fifth grade ladies basketball. And one team won 6-4, and it was chaos. It was chaos.
Awesome. There's no chance.
But it was good to be back. It was good to be back in the FedEx Forum with Maggie. That was absolutely the best part of my weekend.
Well, good. I think that sounds like a worthy submission to the best of the weekend. My best was just my weekend. So I took off on Wednesday night and we went camping. You know, in the motherland of Northeast Mississippi, what the people who can't afford to go to the beach every waking moment, you find yourself purchasing a camper and going to a wooded area where the bathrooms are off-site and you force yourself into loving it. And that's what happened with us growing up. I grew up at a campsite. It is just, we go to this place out.
Glamping. Now it's glamping, not camping.
I mean, yeah, we're not pitching a tent by any means. In fact, we've got a really nice camper. So nice that it's not even ours. And it was set up for us when we got there. My parents have a camper and they were like, how about we just take it out there for you? And we're like, great. They're like, what would you like us to leave? And I said, everything. What are you talking about? I showed up with clothes and food. And man, I'm telling you, it was great. We went with my wife's sister has a camper in her family. And then my mother-in-law has a camper. And we went 3 consecutive sites. We had like an acre of land. And between the 3 families there were 9 grandkids. You know, my 4, her sister's got 5. And we just intermingled. We were right across the street from the basketball goal. The older kids were just going on bikes or scooters. The younger kids were playing with blocks or around the campsite most of the day. It was chill. It is, you know, parents with kids, especially small kids, can attest that vacation isn't normally restful because you're constantly lugging around kids or planning or hustling and bustling. Go to a campsite, let them get dirty, be okay with the scrapes and bruises that come with falling off bikes, and just enjoy it, because that's all we did. Everybody's bumped and bruised up. I don't know if anybody showered at all, and just had a great time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like glamping like that is a ton of fun. I do love getting out in the camper. I love getting away and just being away for a few days and enjoying the outdoors. And you had perfect freaking weather, man. Like it could not have been better.
I couldn't wear my flip-flops in the morning time because my little toes were freezing. I started a fire every morning at 7 o'clock because it was plum chilly outside. It was perfect.
Chili. Yeah, it was
plum chili.
Great.
Which is not a flavor of chili that I think I would have enjoyed.
Never want to try. If you put plums in your chili, do not invite me to the cookout. If you bring it to my cookout, I'm calling the police.
No, that sounds like a Seattle chili if I've ever heard of it.
100%.
That's a Pacific Northwest chili.
You bring a plum chili to a Southern cookout, there's 100% chance your kid has a made-up allergy. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, your kid has real problems with gluten.
Yeah, that's it. He's allergic to his shirt.
My favorite bit is there's this comic named Derek Stroop who's kind of on the come up, and he was an opener for Nate Bargatze when he headlined the FedEx Forum. And his favorite, he's from Alabama, rural Alabama, like not much different than Mississippi. And he moved off to like New York or Denver or somewhere like that for his comedy career. And he was talking about all the allergies. Everybody's lactose intolerant now. And he's like, no, Charlotte, you're not lactose intolerant. You're not supposed to drink that much milk. It's like everything. You ate 7 pieces of cheese on this cheeseburger. You don't have lactose intolerant. You're overdosing. And that's kind of how I feel like society is. Like, oh, I have a gluten problem. No, you probably just eat too much bread.
Too much bread.
Yeah.
Brenda. Debbie.
Anyway. Deborah at the concession stand. She probably has a little bit of gluten in her diet.
Lovely lady. Well, what goes up must come down. The worst thing, the beef of my weekend, I'll be brief with this. Maggie and I were going to Trader Joe's this morning, and I found the perfect parking spot. And I was like, yes. And I'm like, coming up.
Can I guess?
What?
It was a compact car.
No, even worse.
Or a motorcycle.
Even worse. So I'm driving, and I'm like, oh, it's on my right-hand side. I'm like, this is going to be perfect. I look around. There's nobody there. I'm going to pull in, and I'm going to back in. It's going to be the perfect spot. It's right by Barnes & Noble, where we were also going to go, and Trader Joe's. Like, literally the perfect spot. Only for, as I go to start turning, this Honda little SUV comes flying up and then just slams into the parking spot without even checking up. As I'm like getting ready to back in. Now, he didn't know I was going to get ready to back in, and I know that. But it made me irrationally angry. And I called him. Sorry, mama, kiddos, plug your ears. It's a family-friendly show. But I said, I'll be bastard. I said, beep. Bastard, which is my favorite insult of all time, by the way, because you are a rodent that is conceived out of wedlock, which is just cracks me up.
Which is like, probably most rodents, don't you think?
Most
do rodents do they appreciate like marriage and the holy matrimony?
This ain't Parks and Rec.
They don't live an exclusive lifestyle. Like,
we ain't marrying penguins like on Parks and Rec, so I don't think so. But anyway, like I just like that drives me nuts. I know he didn't have any clue, and I said, I hope he's allergic to his shirt. It makes him itch all day long. And then I just parked in a different spot and went on about my life.
Listen, my biggest beef of the weekend. Listen, this happens this is not a re-aired episode from the last time I had a horror story.
You give me crap about my allergies all the time, and here you are repeating.
Well, no, this is not a repeat story from the last camping trip, but we also had another puke attack in the camper.
I don't know who does that more, y'all or Luke Hatmaker, because like between the y'all got the vomit under control.
Listen,
shout out Luke.
It's never me on a family trip. It's never me. It's always the 3-year-old. Don't know what got into her, but she bounced back pretty good. But it was a strip the sheet situation on a Thursday night in the camper. So
that's a bummer.
Yeah, but hey, she bounced back. We had plenty of days on this trip. We made the most. So. Yeah,
that's it. Hey, listen, and you got to enjoy the great outdoors. What's a family vacation without a kid coming in and saying, I threw up?
I've got too many kids to ever expect everything to go perfectly. If everything's going perfectly, I'm assuming the apocalypse is coming. Like,
somebody's going to puke. Somebody's going to puke. Somebody's going to boo-boo in the bed. Something's going to happen. It's coming out the north or south end, one of the two.
You know that our favorite thing is one of our favorite shows is How I Met Your Mother. And I don't know if you've ever watched much How I Met Your Mother, have you?
Not a lot.
Lily, Marshall and Lily. Lily's got this thing where she's always got a nose for BS, and she always says, "Where's the poop?" And so it's like you're telling a story, and you just got the feeling that they're BSing you a little bit, and you're just like, "Where's the poop?" That's like a literal game in our house where it's like, where's the poop? We took the dog with us this time. Like, where is the poop?
Followed by Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec. Stop pooping.
Hey, listen. Number 3 though, She is on the potty at all times.
So, I heard her before the show tonight. She come downstairs. I pooped in the potty, and we all celebrated. And then right as I hit record, she goes, "Can I get a toy?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Listen, we have tried everything, and that's the one that stuck, which is unfortunate for my bank account. First time we went to Walmart, and I ended up, because I was really excited, it was the first time ever, I bought her like a $20 Barbie, and I was like, I can't keep this up. I will never financially recover from this. To quote Joe Exotic, I will never financially recover from this. I've since smartened up and went to Dollar Tree. It's like anything on the aisle, you can have one of anything, baby.
That's it. Well, hey, listen, unlike James Franklin, we still have our job here at Bluff City Media. So we got to pay the bills with a quick commercial. After the commercial break, we're going to talk a little bit of Grizzlies before we get into some college football. So stick with
James,
us.
if you want to sponsor this show, come. You got the money, honey. I got the time.
He is making like infinity more money than we are as a fired head football coach than we are doing this show. But we do it because we love it, and we're not going to sit at the house. We'll see you on the other side of commercial break for some Grizzly talk.
Did you know Jake LaRavia, our old friend Jake LaRavia, threw out the first pitch at a Dodgers game? Boy, how times have changed for Jake LaRavia. He threw a pitch out at a Redbirds game once, and then didn't get any playing time, and then was just shipped off to Sacramento. Now he's playing for the Lakers and throwing out the first pitch at Chavez Ravine. Are you serious?
And he was the first call that they made.
Yes.
When free agency came about. How about that?
My goodness.
I told you that Jake. I told you Jake was going to be a player in this game.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
I've been there for every, Grizzlies coach, right? Coach Isolo, as far as like basketball acumen, man.
Oh, God.
He's up there with the Hubie Brown, Mike Fratellos of the world, like as far as basketball acumen. Both of those dudes were longtime coaches, commentators, all those type of things. The stuff that a lot of these teams are running in the NBA, like the Pacers, OKC, all these type of teams, that new style of offense. The thing is, man, it's like low key, they running the shit he was running in Paris. Like he's like, y'all he on his Soldier Boy shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like y'all stealing my shit. That's the shit I was doing overseas. I am concerned with how. Not that I think it can't happen. I don't think it won't happen. But I just want to know how much emphasis there's going to be to make Jaren a focal part of this offense. For years, we saw Taylor Jenkins really not know what to do with Jaren Jackson Jr. Kind of not running together, or John Morant together. Not really running any plays for Jaren other than Jaren ISO.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show Monday edition. Thank you for being here with us as we have just wrapped up our Best of Beef segment, and we are ready to talk the Memphis Grizzlies. Rusty, there have been 2 preseason basketball games since the last time we spoke. You have spoken about one of them, and so the Grizzlies lose again when you're in person, the nerve they have to lose when you are in the building buying $30 worth of beers twice in a game from Deborah. for them to turn around and lose. I mean, I'm
yeah.
expecting you to just go scorched earth right now.
And I'm not. I'm upset about the expensiveness that is the Memphis Grizzlies game, but it's also the preseason. We also don't have two of the best players in the NBA playing. Yes, I would like to see more from Santi. I would also like to see Cedric Coward play all 4 quarters like he plays the fourth, because that guy has been cooking in fourth quarters. But I like what I've seen from Jalen Wells. We played hard. I think Jock Landale's got a place on this team even when Zach Edey comes back, because I think there's a place in the rotation for him as a counterpunch to Zach Edey. Also, really quick sidebar, Jalen Johnson for Atlanta is awesome. He's so good. And if he can stay healthy this year, like, he is so smooth and so athletic. He finished with 20 points, game's leading scorer for the Hawks the other night. But as far as the Grizzlies are concerned, like, I am withholding a ton of judgment. If you're looking for a crash out, my co-host may do that for you, but I am not. I am staying level-headed. Could be the gin that I'm sipping on tonight, but I'm staying level-headed. And I think that we're going to be just fine when John and Jaren come back. I would, again, love to see a little bit of life from our supporting cast, but you always say this on the show, and it's Ja makes everybody better, and I agree with that. And so I'm holding reservations, or I'm holding judgment until John and Jaren are playing meaningful basketball.
Well, first things, here's your 2 options, Grizzlies fans. You either have to say that preseason does not matter and just wait, or you have to be extremely critical. Like, those are your 2 options. If preseason matters, this has been an absolute subpar showing. And if you are critical, I will defend the people who are critical. Rusty will call you a hater. I will say it's fair. It is. I mean, if you are just going to take preseason and say, this is what we've got to look at, then I have questions. Mm-hmm. And it's not with Ja. Listen, we can couch this however you want to. I do believe this team will be better with Ja. I do believe this team will be better with Jaren. I do believe this team will be better with Zach Edey. That's obvious. But when you're talking about, when I talk about this team having a higher floor and an indeterminate ceiling, that ceiling is based on a lot of players who are not showing up in preseason whatsoever. Gigi has not been good. Vince has just been meh. And Cam Spencer went 1 of 6 from 3 the other night. Yes, I mean, it's a bunch of garbage.
Yeah,
like,
let me ask you
there's
this.
just, I feel, and this is where I'm gonna just kind of plant my flag and say, like, all right, this may be a problem. Is that for so long under Taylor Jenkins, and you can call it Taylor Jenkins, you can call it roster building with Kleiman, you can call it whatever. This team has had a floor that was there because you could count on bench players. This team, more than any other team, and this is also a function of how much you're paying John Jaren, but this team, more than any other team in the last 5 years, is exposed if they don't play, and that's what makes me scared. This team is garbage without them two.
Remind me, who won the preseason championship last year?
But that doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about.
So
you can always see what you can see.
I can understand and I can appreciate the criticism. Yes, I have questions. I have questions about Santi Aldama. Like, his defense has been absolutely, like, horrendous in the preseason. It somehow got worse from last year when he was a terrible defender. KCP has been great. Ty Jerome, great. I'm not worried about those guys. I think they're going to be pieces on this team.
To throw a bone to Santi, if there's one thing that suffers in preseason, I will excuse some poor defensive play in preseason.
But, like, not from a guy whose biggest question mark has been defense. And then you got Cedric and you got Jalen Wells picking up guys 90 feet from the basket, 80 feet from the basket, and playing hard defense. Like, I need, like, a guy who's been bad at defense. You can't come out and be worse at defense. Like, it just doesn't. That math just doesn't math for me. Again, a lot of these guys, like, we're not going to see a lot of Javon Small. We're going to see no Tyler Burton, Lawson Lovering. Probably see some PJ Hall. Yeah. We'll probably see some PJ Hall until Zach Edey's healthy. Like
and then
those
hopefully
guys,
very little.
And then very little. But, like, that's the thing. Like, we're playing a lot of guys too, Drew, it's going to affect the rhythm of the game because you're playing a bunch of guys who are not going to play in November and December.
Of course. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying this team I still believe in, but what I'm scared of, worst case scenario, is that this team is not good at all without Ja. That's what I think. And what we've learned in the last 3 years is you can't really count on Ja to play. And so it's not an hater mindset right now to be pretty skeptical, because you are looking at what possibly could be what you're seeing in this upcoming season if Ja Morant doesn't play. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not being a hater. Lord knows I want nothing but success. And Rusty, when he even says he says a lot, I'm choosing to be positive. I'm choosing to just kind of look at it how I see it. And what I see is scary if Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't playing.
Now, I'm not sitting here with rose-colored glasses and acting like everything's fine. I'm just refusing to crash out and say, we need to fire Zach Climate. Everybody's got to go. This team is terrible. We're going to win 30 games.
Anybody who says that is going too far.
And I'm so grateful for those people that have been showing up on my X timeline, because the mute button is working super well to where I don't have to hear from them people anymore. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, yes, I have questions, and it's fair if you have questions. I have stand for GG Jackson Jr. hard. I even said last Saturday night at the game, I said, like, when he made that first three, I was like, yes, GG, yes, go be great, man. And the lady in front of me cackled, and she's like, I've been saying the same thing because I love GG. I'm like, trust me, nobody loves GG more than I do and want to see him succeed, and he just ain't doing it. Like, he just can't get out of his own way. Like, so many times, Drew, in Saturday night's game against the Hawks, like, this is me. I can say the preseason is what it is and still be critical, which is what I'm doing here. But so many times, like, Gigi is just a black hole with the basketball. Like, he gets it and he just puts his head down and he's going to dribble and run around and put up a shot. There was two distinct times, Maggie and I both saw it and yelled out, Cedric, because he was by himself in the corner and Gigi's got three guys around him dribbling between his legs trying to find a way. And, like, I still think Gigi's got potential, but, like, I just haven't seen the growth that I'd hoped to see entering in his third year. And like Wayno said on the Two-Buck Sports Show on Thursday, like, the youth thing is only going to carry you so far when you're entering your third NBA season.
Yeah, I mean, you're still the youngest person on the team, and so you could play the youth card, but you are also one of the middle of the road experience ones, you know, like, and so I've had to separate myself. It is easy to love Gigi. You look at the personality, and when you see his personality, I see somebody bubbly, willing to take criticism, willing to take coaching. You know, that's what he gives off when you're talking.
Sure.
That doesn't I'm having to teach myself that maybe that personality doesn't obviously mean you're going to retain this information that you still could be a hard head and lovable. I feel like that's where we're at with Gigi. It's like, buddy, I know you've got at least two staffs at this point that's telling you not to do this.
And that's the disconnect, right? Like, Gigi says the right things, that he's coachable, that I'm listening, that I'm learning, that Isla's coaching me hard. Like, I'm listening, I'm doing this, I'm working on defense, I'm kidding, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes out there and plays just the exact same way he did last year. Like, it's year one was great because we didn't have any other options. Like, he was the guy on this team. And if you want to be that guy, like, you're going to have to go to Charlotte or somewhere like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, like, on this team, you're not going to be the guy. Like, on this team, you've got to find your way around Ja, around Jaren, around Edie, like the KCP, Jalen, like all the people that are ahead of you, the pecking order, even like Cedric Coward now, who is showing more signs of growth through three preseason games than Gigi has in 3 years. And I love
a wise man once said, do not expect too much out of Gigi going into year two, because in year one, he played on a 30-win team in which he got to jack as many shots as he wanted to, and you've got to figure out where fit in where you get in. That wise man was me. And that is still what we're struggling with. You saw this so much. Yeah. Like, I do not want to put him in the same role as Jordan Poole, because I think Jordan Poole is a career loser, and he's been doing this for a long time. But you see some tendencies there where it's just kind of like he's on an island, and you can chalk it up to youth, but at some point your age is your age and your experience is your experience, and you've entering your third year of NBA experience. You've got to be able to fix this, and he is one of the main reasons why I'm like, dude, I just don't know how many guys we can trust again. Like, I banged the drum of saying we got more usable NBA players. And I put him in there because another year of Gigi can't be worse, but it can be the exact same. And if he's not going to step up and if Vince isn't going to step up, then you still have a bench problem.
And this is the perfect segue to the next player I really wanted to kind of talk about for a few minutes. Wayno said this in the group chat the other day, and it stuck with me, and I've chewed on it a lot. And I jumped to defend Gigi almost immediately. But he said, you can only develop so many players at one time. And if Gigi's not showing the ability to retain how we're developing him, which he so far really hasn't, you're already developing Cedric. Jalen is coming a long way. Jalen has looked really good offensively in the preseason. And then the other caveat, real quick, a little sidebar, and I'll let you comment on that if you want to. We're playing all the other teams like best players. Like the Hawks had nobody out. They didn't play Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Other than that, that was it. Ricochet got 25 minutes. Trae Young got 25 minutes. Dyson Daniels got 25 minutes. Like, our guys are playing their better players, so that's part of it. But, like, if Jalen's going to step up and play well offensively against those type guys, Cedric's going to show growth. Gigi can't get it, man. Like, you've got another guy in Omax who has shown some glimmers. Now, he's chaotic, and he is wild. Like, I keep referencing Lance.
Two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin.
Same coin. The same coin.
Two sides of the same coin with those guys. Like one of them is just a freak that's gonna mess up on offense and impress you on defense, and then Gigi is just the abyss on defense, and at some point shock you
on offense. On offense, the ball goes to him
when he does what he's supposed to.
But Olivier Maxence Prosper has looked good in spurts. Now, I get why the Mavericks kind of moved off on him. I get why he's on a two-way. That dude is super raw and unpolished. But there's going to be like 3 or 4 plays where, like, there was a couple times Drew just watching him move. Like, he passes the eye test, right? Like, you want to see it. Like, a guy that looks good in pads, you know what I'm saying? Like, he looks the part. But, like, about 3 or 4 times a game, you go, oh, man. Oh, man, because it's just there's something special about him. I'd love to see us kind of like lean in and try and develop him because he could be like a super Santi if he could figure out a way to, because he blocks shots, he defends at a high level. If he can get some semblance of control and not be the Tasmanian Devil on offense, that could be a guy we could develop.
All right, so to take it back from you chased a couple rabbits there. So let me take it back to the first statement you made. About Gigi, and you can only develop so many players. Have you seen how many quarter zips are behind that bench? I think you can have a 1-to-1 teacher-student ratio. I mean, have you seen the number of quarter zips? And I do agree with it in principle, but not because of there's not enough teachers to the students, but because you've only got so many minutes to allot. And
that's what I'm getting at.
And if you think about it from that aspect, if I'm having to choose minutes between Cedric Coward and Gigi Jackson, I'm sorry, Gigi, but you're gonna have to get your reps in on the side gyms over here.
And the Grizzlies agreed because in a game that ultimately ended up being very close, we scored 41 points in the fourth quarter and almost came back and won that game. Cedric Coward finished with 22 minutes off the bench to Gigi's 13.
Yeah, and so I think that's the most apt way to put it. It's not that you're not going to have the right coaching, but you've only got so many minutes. That pie chart, if you're only wanting to play 11 or 12 guys, then you've got a real numbers crunch. We did it on last week's show where we said pick the players that aren't going to play, and Gigi is on the cut line, right at it. And if he's just not going to do. And the thing that's so frustrating about Gigi, and this has become a Gigi hate episode, and that is not what I intend, and that's not how I feel truly. But the frustrating part of it is just do this one thing. Like, this is your role. Just do this one thing. The last thing you need to do is just dribble the ball into the earth. Try to make those boards shift, but with a dribble. Like, just be there, cut. I mean, you're a freak, man. You are an absolute freak. Just be what you are at the most common denominator. That is the easiest plug and play that you can do is just stay in front of your guys on defense, cut on offense, get some rebounds. Like it shouldn't be.
And that's what
make your life easier. Make your life easier.
That's what's bothering me most because I love Gigi, and this is not a Gigi hate. I'm all in on Gigi. Still am. I'm not ready to sell my stock yet, but like he's not doing any one thing well right now. Like he does not pass the ball. He had 0 assists the other night. And like I said, when he gets the ball, like you said, he dribbles in the earth and he looks down. He does not look around. He's not rebounding exceptionally well. He had 3 rebounds the other night. 0 for 5 from the free throw line is concerning. And then he had his first 2 threes. He was 2 for 2 from 3. And then he missed his next 3 before making his last one to finish 3 for 6.
Hey,
and
percentages are good. I mean,
yeah, except
you
for
take
50%.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
That's concerning. Like he's not doing any one thing well. And yeah, I agree. I'm not talking about like there's like I said, there's plenty of coaches. If anybody can do it, it's Tomas Isolo. He is known as a player developer. But like, what minutes is he going to get? I'm kind of with Wayno. Like, if he's willing to go get some G League minutes, go play down there, because I don't know that there's a place for him on this team right now as constructed as we start wrapping up the preseason. We got 2 more games before they actually start counting. Josh says he's going to be back. He said, you're tweaking if you think I'm going to miss the regular season. Yeah. I kind of believe him. I truly do.
There's never been a Grizzlies PR.
The video. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. There's been
no PR tweet.
They basically said, hey, DeMichael, leak this out, let this go. Yeah. And so if there had been a PR tweet, and I said that like when it first came out, that the PR tweet would tell us a lot, and then we never got one. Right. And then the video of Jaren on Instagram and him back doing 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 gives me a lot of hope that we're going to get Jaren back sooner than later.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think they both start against the Pelicans.
The Pelicans. If not, I hope he at least plays Friday night, because I got tickets to that Heat game on Friday night. But we got 2 more preseason games, Drew, and we will unpack those as they come. But right now, we had an eventful day on Saturday, followed by an even more eventful day on Sunday in the college football world. Y'all bear with us. We're recording this on Sunday night. Episode might go a little long, but we're going to talk some college football.
That's right. It's the Monday edition of the 2 Bucks Sports Show. I appreciate everybody sticking in with us. We're getting into our college football talk now. Rusty, you're right. It was an absolute smoke show of a Saturday when it comes to college football. One of the most unpredictable Saturdays. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll be definitive. I won't straddle the fence as you accuse me. It was the most surprising Saturday of college football so far for me. So much we could get into there. And it ends on Sunday with multiple head coaches being fired, including James Franklin.
Let's start there. We'll go in. So real quick, Gabe and I picked 6 games on Friday. Your boy went 4-2. I had a day. I hate it's not going to count because you didn't pick, but your boy had a day. I went 4-2.
You know what that means?
Missouri.
You know what that means? You're not built for the pressure. You're not built for competition.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I picked. I'm sorry. I went 3-3. Daggum, I went 3-3 because I had no. Yeah, daggum.
They are who we thought they were. They are 3-3. Absolutely.
Missouri lost by 3. They didn't cover the 3.5. They lost by 3. So I went 3-3 because I picked Missouri, Oklahoma, and Oregon. But I did get Arkansas. I did get A&M, and I did get Georgia covering on those. But let's start there. So James Franklin is no longer gainfully employed, though. He's going to be making just as much money. He's going to be making 25 cents a second until 2031, I saw earlier today.
He is not gainfully employed, but he is pretty gainful.
Gainful, because he's making $49 million between now and 2031. Now, that will get reduced if he does take another game or another job. But, Drew, I don't know that he should. I think you take a victory lap, you pull a Dan Mullen, you go do some TV, you do some Instagram, so you do some Twitter.
Key and Peele skits.
Key and Peele skits, like tour the country. Like, then he can almost name a job next year that he wants after taking a year off. But James Franklin getting canned, like, it was going all kind of sideways. Like the numbers are, we know what the numbers are. He's terrible against top 20, even worse against top 10. But then you lose. Then you lose to a hapless UCLA team who had not had a pulse. They got blown out by New Mexico.
Had not had a lead in a game all season long.
And then didn't trail to Penn State at all. Only to match that up by getting beat by the school that's going to employ all your players in the future, Northwestern. The smart kids beat you 22-21, and you kind of saw the writing on the wall. as he was leaving the field, with him just kind of taking it all in. You could
tell there were some conversations that were had.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think that there was any more surprising of a loss. Even after the UCLA debacle, in which they let that game stay too close for too long and UCLA popped them, to follow that up with a home loss to Northwestern, a journalism school, a medical school
beautiful campus.
Pat Fitzgerald isn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not. They're barely a college town. They're in Chicago. Like, it was the most shocking upset in a Saturday in which I was pretty shocked. Only the first time ever, I believe, that a ranked team has lost in back-to-back weeks despite being favored by over 20 points. It was.
I did see that.
James Franklin's cornerstone of his whole career at Penn State is that I win 9 games and I lose to better teams. Like, I don't lose to crap and I don't win against good teams.
Drew, we're 3 weeks removed from him and Nick Saban. Nick Saban in a Nittany Lion onesie and James Franklin sitting up there. We're 5 weeks removed from Texas losing and they being in the conversation for the #1 ranking in the AP poll.
Yes.
And now we're sitting at 3-3. Your head coach is fired. Drew Aller is out for the rest of the season with a nasty ankle injury. Might be the best thing that happened to Penn State, to be honest. It's just but where do you go from here, right? Like the coaching search is going to start, but can they turn it around? They ain't got a lot of time. They get a bye week. Like, the bye week is no, they don't. I'm so sorry. They play next weekend at Iowa, a night game at Kinnick Stadium, which is not easy. It's not easy to play at night.
You're going to go play some 13-12 offense right there,
followed by going to Columbia and then Indiana coming to town. Like, it just doesn't get a lot easier. Columbus, Ohio. Sorry,
I was about to say they play Missouri or South Carolina.
Columbus. Thank you.
And listen, I'm just so befuddled by this. Like, I don't, and I'm the biggest Penn State hater on this show. Well, there's only 2 of us, and I'm the biggest. I picked them to be the.
You kept them in your Grease poll longer than I did, so brother,
because they were going to go 10-2. That was what has always been the case. I mean, it's what it is. The sample size was too big. I wasn't pulling for it.
Oregon, I ran them out of the Grease poll and said, I don't buy this team. I don't believe in them. Now, I didn't say they were going to lose the next 2 weeks.
No, but if you go back 3 weeks and you think about a double overtime loss to Oregon, nobody punished them very much. The AP poll didn't. You did.
The Rusty Buckets Grease poll did.
Yeah. But I'm stunned by it. I'm this is twice already in this college football season where I thought that a coach had the tenure at this university and a history at this university to earn him the end of the season. And Mike Gundy got axed after week 3, and now we've got James Franklin getting beheaded publicly on a Sunday in October. Like, I just never thought. And what I want to say to you is, like, I think this is. You've kind of seen this going on lately where coaches keep getting fired earlier and earlier. You only make this decision for one thing. Obviously, the buyout wasn't a problem. And it is to start back channeling without any sort of interference. You don't have to worry about anything leaking.
You get ahead of it.
Yeah.
You get ahead of it. And, a couple things, like it shows that you're not safe. Right? In this era, there's money that can be raised for your buyout. If they can buy out Jimbo Fisher, they can buy out James Franklin. You better figure out how to win football games. And then number 2, like, you don't fire, and bear with me for just a second, and I'll let you give your take. Like, you don't fire James Franklin without kind of going and then swinging for the fences. And I know we both talked earlier about who we think they should call and make say no, and I agree. But another name that's come up already from some Penn State circles, because I've been seeing a lot of Penn State on my timeline.
Can I guess?
Search it and look at it. Who?
Oh, I think you bring the ruler back to Pennsylvania.
That's it. Matt Rule. He's from State College.
Temple.
He's a Penn State grad. The AD that's there was his AD at Temple. Matt Rule feels like, and Dylan Raiola, his quarterback who knows the system, has one more year of eligibility. Do you bring Pat Mahomes Jr. from Lincoln to State College?
Oh,
but like, do you fire?
I have a stipulation. I'll hire Matt Rule, but you have to leave Raiola in Nebraska.
But like, that's my question. Do you fire James Franklin on October the 12th to hire Matt Rule? Yes, he turned Temple around. Yes, he won at Baylor. Yes, he's winning at Nebraska.
Yes.
But he's got the same problem James Franklin does, and he's not been able to win the big games at these schools.
Simply, yes. He would be 1A for me. I believe 1,000% in Matt Rule. I'm absolutely in.
Why? Tell me why.
Well, because you look at the jobs that he has done at the schools he's been in. He took Temple from nothing to the equivalent of a group of 5 playoff bid back in the day, whatever it was then, a New Year's Six game or whatever. And then he took over for a program that was decimated by Art Briles and that controversy. And within a matter of 2 to 3 years, had them winning or competing for a Big 12 championship game. Then he got cocky and he went to Carolina and it didn't go well. Breaking news, good college football coaches don't ever pan out in the NFL. And then now he's at Nebraska and he's only in year 2. And so I'm all in on the program that guy can bring. And it would be the most high profile program with the resources that I believe he could reach his max potential.
I hate to do this to you on air. I do. I really hate to do this to you. But do you know what James Franklin's opponent, like against ranked opponents, you know his record? He was 17-26 against AP
4-21
top 25 teams against top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Do you know the last time a Matt Rule coach team beat a ranked team?
Couldn't tell you.
2016 when he was at Temple.
Yeah,
Matt
but see,
Rule
that's...
Matt Rule is currently 2-22 all time against AP ranked teams. His 2 wins occurred during his tenure at Temple. He is 0-11 against the AP top 10 and has lost 14 consecutive games to ranked opponents through his time at Temple, Baylor, and Nebraska. I think if you go from James Franklin, you're going from James Franklin to a new shiny James Franklin, because Matt Rule is a good coach. He's a good culture coach. I'm not saying he's not, but you don't fire James Franklin for not being able to win big games and then losing 2 bad games to go hire another James Franklin.
Yeah, I think that's being entirely too short-sighted on Rule, because of what you look at Rule, he's always left when the trajectory is going up. This is not James Franklin's program, and he is what he is. You look at what he built at Temple, that was the finished product. That's all he could have gotten out of Temple. He left Baylor before he could have gotten there to go to Carolina.
He had 17 games at Baylor against ranked opponents. 17. And he went 0-17 in them. 0-17.
But how many of those I need to look and see when those years were, because Art Briles cratered that program. I mean, there were no scholarships given. Like
you would think, at some
point
point throughout that, I give you like the first couple of years, but by the end of it, you got to beat a rank like a 24.
I'll tell you this:
Kansas State.
I don't care if Lane Kiffin takes the job at Penn State. Matt Rule would be number 2 on my list, behind Kurt Cignetti.
I'd love that. I would love that. But I think
Kurt Cignetti, be exactly where you are now, a distant number 2 in the state.
Yeah, right. That's the name that you call. You make Kurt Cignetti, who was on Nick Saban's staff, he's from Pittsburgh, like he's from Pennsylvania. That's the guy you make say no, because in 10 months as a head coach of a Power 4 school, he already has more ranked wins and top 10 wins than both. He has the same number as Matt Rule in 10 months. He has more than James Franklin. He has more top 10 victories than both of them combined. That's the name you call. If you want to settle for more of the same, in my opinion, you call Matt Rule, you give him the job. Let him come home, come to Papa. Like that worked out so well in other places when, like, look at Ray Perkins going back to Alabama. Like there's places where you bring the guy back. And
who in the world knows who Ray Perkins is?
They even followed up. Bear
You are
Bryant,
talking to
former
your
receiver.
grandfather only at this point.
It doesn't work out super well. Like there's
Okay.
that's the first one that came to mind.
How about
but,
Matt Luke?
Always.
How about Matt
Yeah,
Luke?
there you go, Matt Luke. Scott Frost in Nebraska. Like it doesn't always
Yeah,
go well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Get me there. My old brain was catching up, right?
Jeez.
But, like,
Let me tell you about a story from 1962, right after Bear Bryant got here.
It was in the 80s. And I was almost alive. But Matt
I was
Rule, I think
almost alive.
Matt
Jeez,
Rule
okay.
gives you
No
more of the same.
no more stories from when you were almost alive. That's a new rule.
Matt Rule gives you more of the same. Matt Rule gives you a guy that wins games he's supposed to, but he doesn't win the big game. If I'm Penn State and I need to turn this program around, if I want to make a splash, I call Kirk Cignetti and say, "Hey, we're going to offer you until you absolutely have to say yes."
I'll put it to you this way. I think that the SEC, you've already got one job opened up at Arkansas. I think by the end of the year, it's very likely that Auburn is open up. I think that South Carolina is more than likely to be open up. If Billy Napier doesn't continue his second consecutive resurrection in the back half of the season, the Florida job's likely to get opened up. It would terrify me as an Ole Miss coach. And I'm not talking about Lane Kiffin leaving. I think it is what it is, and I think he's happy. And so if it happens, it happens at this point. But I would be terrified. The quality of coaching the SEC would go up exponentially if those jobs were filled by Kurt Cignetti and Matt Rule. I mean, it just is what they are. Phenomenal college football coaches. We can talk about big games, whatever. I don't care. They are phenomenal college football coaches.
They are, but in the SEC especially, like if you're Matt Rule and you're 2-22 against ranked teams and you're playing 9 conference games and 6 of them are ranked, you're going to go 6-6 every year.
Yeah, I think it was much more damning for James Franklin because that was his program for 10 years rather than an upstart and continually leaving for better jobs. So and maybe that's a fault of Matt Rule is that he doesn't stick around. Y'all listen to that he doesn't see it to fruition. But I believe in him.
Which is why, like, I almost think, like, if Penn State's smart, they'll kind of slow their roll on Matt Rule and say, hey, we want, like, this job can be yours, but we need to see you do it. Like, we need to see you get over the hump and win a championship, win some big games.
Call me when you win something at Nebraska. Like, please, this isn't 1984.
I mean,
he's not going to win at Nebraska.
But I thought he was your coach. I thought he was doing a good job in turning the program around.
You have to admit that there are levels to jobs. We got to quit pretending like Nebraska is what they are in 85 and that they are capable of winning the Big Ten. Like,
I mean, Baylor
won their league
historically, and they won after him, But like, Matt Rule for me doesn't move the needle enough from James Franklin. And maybe it is for you, but if I'm AD at Penn State and I know the Temple ties are there, I need somebody that's going to be different from James Franklin, a guy that can win big games.
And this in here is the problem when you're an athletic director trying to hire coaches. Is that the proven ones, the guys that you were talking about, you have to get from stable, successful programs. If you want to look at, Lane Kiffin, just because I'm intimately familiar, and so are you. If you want to go poach Lane Kiffin, you say he is a guy that in the SEC has won 10 games, 3 out of the last 4 seasons. He is what I believe in. Like, why in the world would Lane Kiffin go to Penn State when you've got the keys to the car? And that's the argument. You take that to Matt Rule, and he's like, oh, well, I graduated from there. I love, Central Pennsylvania. I love Happy Valley. I would make that. Or Cignetti. Would Cignetti want to leave what he's built at Indiana on the cusp of a second consecutive playoff appearance to go to Happy Valley? Like, you've got, or you're stuck with taking a shot on somebody.
And I think we're seeing an era where more coaches are not leaving what they're building. You saw Dan Lanning turn down Alabama. You've seen Lane Kiffin turn down Auburn and probably going to have to turn down Florida again. And there's going to be jobs that come up. There's a world where he may have to turn down Texas if it doesn't turn around as well.
That he would not turn down Texas. No coach that isn't Kalen DeBoer in Alabama will turn down Alabama, or Kirby Smart will turn down Texas.
Absolutely not. But but we're seeing that less and
They
less.
should,
so,
but they won't.
That's why I think I just made a strong argument that Matt Rule is not the man for the Penn State job, but he might be the guy that takes the job because Kurt Signetti, because Dan Lanning, because these other guys you call say no because they're in a good situation.
You end up with a Mike Elko situation.
Unless it's a Brian Kelly who's wanting to get out of LSU, who's frustrated and tired of being in LSU, somebody like that. Otherwise, Matt Rule might be your only option.
You take a 3-horse race in the Big Ten and make it a 2-horse race if you replace James Franklin with Brian Kelly. Like that's just
do the same thing if they do it with Matt Rule. But anyway,
they are not the same, and you know that.
Anyway, so it's going to be an interesting offseason for Penn State as they look on the heels of 2 ugly losses. The schedule doesn't get any better. They're finally hitting the teeth of their schedule, and they're doing it without James Franklin and Drew Aller, which might be the best of those 2 situations as you get a fresh start at quarterback for Penn State.
Listen, you brought up Texas, and
we can go there next.
Maybe I have been too hard on Drew Aller because he is aggressively mediocre. And he's always been exactly what he is. And maybe James Franklin should be catching more heat from me in particular than Drew Aller. But you look at you hit at Texas, and there's some rumblings coming out of there that maybe this isn't an Arch or a Quinn Ewers problem as much as it is an offense. I watched a lot of that game, or I watched a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot. But, I mean, there is just so much behind the line of scrimmage stuff, which – is why, Arch Manning at one point in that game when I checked the box scores, 8 of 9 for 50 yards. When you run offenses like that, it's so hard to score when you get into the red zone.
And it's annoying that score ended up being what it was, 23-6, because it doesn't showcase what the game was. The game was a rock fight. Like, it was an ugly football game. Mateer finished with 202. You could tell his hand was not healthy. Arch Manning goes 21-27, which is awesome, but 166 passing yards.
Right.
That score's inflated. They had 1 offensive touchdown and a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown. So that score got inflated by that punt return. But you're right. Like, is Sark maybe not the quarterback whisperer that we thought he was when he's a head coach? Because there are some guys that are just great coordinators and few guys that can make that transition to be great head coaches. And Sark just hasn't gotten it done. That was an ugly football game. Arch hasn't been the guy. I've talked myself into this, and I'm angry at myself for it, but I bought tickets to the Mississippi State-Texas game in a couple of weeks because there is a world, and again, like Mississippi State was not healthy when we played A&M. We go to Florida this weekend, so we'll see what happens. There's a world that, like, Sark might get croomed if you know in that Texas-Mississippi State game in a couple of weeks.
Listen, and this is the exact reason why I whispered in this microphone a minute ago that any coach would take the Texas job, and most shouldn't, because the scrutiny in the state of Texas, they love football, and that's great, but you can almost never live up to the hype of what, if you could buy Texas A&M what they're worth and sell them for what they think they're worth, it's the same thing with except for, Texas is that except white collar, different kind of money, but same situation, and boosters that are just meddling at all times. And that's something that if you know Nick Saban and if you know Lane Kiffin, a lot of these coaches, they want to run their program with as little interference as possible, and you just don't get that opportunity at places for these teams in Texas.
Right. You don't. But, like, it's the same time, you want to talk about a team, like, they're talking about Arkansas could have $25-30 million in NIL money that could come in from Walmart and all that stuff. Like, Texas,
maybe, but they should have had that.
That's just not an Arkansas conversation. What I'm saying is that's what Arkansas can drum up. Texas is going to be triple that, if not more, because the coffers are deep in Texas. It's just going to be the right guy that can step in and take that job. And, again, maybe that's a Lane Kiffin or somebody like that in the future. I just don't know that I don't know that Sark is going to be the head coach for this team in 2 seasons.
That mindset makes me so angry, though, when you're saying, like, oh, well, we'll donate more if you fire the coach. It's like, well, you know what? This is, in my opinion, a player's game. You like the team with the most players typically wins. Look at what Texas Tech's doing this year. Think that coach decided he was had some revelation last offseason that made him an elite head coach? No, they ponied up a ton of money and got a bunch of awesome football players.
Right.
To hold a coach hostage, like that. Like Auburn did it to Brian Harsin. Like, no, I know this is not what you're saying, but it bubbled up something within me that just aggravates me to no end. Like, as a fan of a team, if Ole Miss boosters were to say, "We'll give you $100 million if you fire Lane Kiffin," I'd be like, "Why don't you give the $100 million and allow Lane Kiffin to be what he could possibly be?" You know,
exactly right. But I'm saying like no coach in their right mind would not take that job. But like,
you're right.
Brett Venables is still doing a whale of a job. I think if John Mateer is healthy, that's a different game. The Texas defense is good, but Mateer did not have the same zip on his passes. You know, he had surgery on the thumb that is the last point of contact on the football that creates the spin and gives it the velocity. And it just wasn't. It wasn't.
I heard you say that. Have I been throwing footballs wrong my whole life?
Yeah, because you think about like as it comes
the ball
off,
rolls off your middle finger.
It should like as it comes off, as your hand turns over, your thumb helps propel it.
You let that ball rolls off your middle finger, right? Like a basketball.
As it comes through, you're pushing it with your thumb.
I've been throwing a football wrong, I guess.
I had one time. I don't know where it went, but.
Yeah, back up and demonstrate. Throw it right at your camera so we get a good frame of reference.
Your thumb is like your thumb muscles are what helps like a lot with throwing it. Maybe roll up your middle finger, maybe whatever. But that's what like pushes the ball and gives you the velo.
He was a little shaky.
He didn't look his best.
He threw 3 interceptions, but it's been well documented. This Texas defense is really good. Not really the defense that you want to face coming off of injury for sure.
That's it for sure. But ugly win for Texas. But I don't think it did anything to quiet the critics of Arch Manning or Steve Sarkisian, either one. Yeah. In another, we've talked about him a couple of times, game we got to get to next, Indiana went to Oregon. I've been calling them fake tough, and all they did was punch a tough Oregon team in the mouth. Gabe and I talked about how good Oregon's offensive line was and how good Dante Moore was and all that on Friday.
Google me.
Only for Kirk Cignetti to go out there and add to the Google me, I just win.
His Wikipedia page is growing, man.
Oh, absolutely. Mendoza threw for 215, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Dante Moore looked like a sophomore transfer quarterback with 2 picks. Indiana just beat him from start to finish. Like, they had the lead. They never gave it up. Had a couple of ties, but they never gave up the lead. Won by 10. The Fighting Kirk Cignettis are a real player in the Big Ten. It's yet to be seen what it looks like on a national scale, but they are in a firm driver's seat in the Big Ten alongside Ohio State.
Did they play Ohio State in the regular season?
They have the last ranked team they play is the Oregon Ducks, who they beat 30-20. They play Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. They will finish this season undefeated.
And they will be in the playoff regardless of outcome of the Big Ten championship game.
Even if Ohio State laps them.
Right. Just like last year. Didn't they meet in the championship game last year? Or was that – no, that was Penn State and Ohio State met in the championship game. But anyways, I digress. This is the part of the show where Rusty needs to apologize for calling him fake tough. He can say they proved him wrong, but he's still wrong, and wrong means an apology.
You and I both have been talking about we don't believe in Indiana. Both of us. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you've been stronger than me. Like, I'll apologize, but not until you do, because you've been more harsh than me.
Because I'm the only one of the 2 Buck Sports Show here live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central on Blessed TV's YouTube channel that doesn't ride a fence. I will take an opinion. I will take a.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying when your opinion is wrong, I think you owe an apology. That's all I'm saying. It's just I mean, I was raised right, you know, and I feel like you've strong from your ways that Mama Lee raised you, because she raised you better than this.
You got a good win over Oregon. Congratulations! The first good win,
great win on the road in Nike headquarters.
Alton Stadium's tough place to go play. Great job. Followed up with beating somebody else in the playoffs, and I'll be happy. But until then, like, it's a good win. It's a good win. You definitely show that you're not fake tough. I still don't know if they're going to go win a national championship, but I think they are better than I thought they were. Mendoza
this is the transfer portal era. Anybody can put together a team, and it doesn't take a lot of time. This is gone are the days where when you hired a new football coach, he has 3 years to turn it around. You can't even grade the coach until 3 years. Once the guys you recruit from high school get into a couple later years and can be real contributors on the big stage. That's not what this is anymore. You have to be able to eyeball talent, bring them in, discover them, bring them in, and then have them in a position to succeed. And Kurt Cignetti has shown it. He is one of the best in the country at doing that.
I think Kirk Cignetti is going to end up being the nail in the coffin for Hugh Freeze, for Billy Napier, for Shane Beamer, maybe for Brian Kelly. Some of these coaches that are like, oh, I need 3-4 years because, like you said, that's how it used to be. But Kirk Cignetti walked into an Indiana program that came off a 2-win season, took it to the college football playoffs, and has them in the driver's seat in the Big Ten this year because they don't play Ohio State until the Big Ten championship game without any of that in 2 seasons. And so if I'm Billy Napier and I'm Shane Beamer and I'm these guys who are like, oh, I need 3 years, 4 years to get my system in, like, brothers, Kirk Cignetti went to Indiana, a basketball school. They hadn't cared about football since Lee Corso was there back in the 60s. And it's now winning football games. Like, those days are over.
Yeah. Well, let me put it to you this way. What Kirk Cignetti's biggest downfall was his age. I mean, he's in his 60s. And there is a misconception or just too much emphasis is placed on age when you're hiring coaches, because all of these athletic directors think that they're hiring a coach that loves their university and that are going to be committed for 10, 15 years. You know, you want your guy because all you got to do is show up in college town America and fall in love, and you won't want to leave. That's not true. So who cares if he's 27 with 40 years to potentially stay at your university? He's not staying that long. This is a profession that you have success or failure, a lot of times both, and you're out within 5 years. So I don't care about age until you get 70 at this point, 75. If you can run for president, you can be a head coach of a football team. And Kirk Cignetti, age should not matter for him.
Yeah, agree. I mean, whale of a job at Indiana. I will say that.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the hour 10 mark. We'll breeze through these next few because I do have a couple of takes. One, I do want to touch on this. On Friday night, South Florida was getting beat by North Texas, came back, handled business, won 63-36. College Game Day announced, and this will be our segue into your Ole Miss. You got 3 minutes to talk about Ole Miss. Because you'll go for 12 if I don't put a cap on it.
No, I won't. I won't.
But the College Game Day is heading to the Ole Miss Georgia game in Athens next week, which means they will have been to. So the big games on the weekend of the 25th, the following weekend, they will have already been to games with Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, and Vanderbilt, some of the bigger games in that weekend, which is wild that in this year of our Lord 2025, Vanderbilt is the game that we're talking about. But of all the other big games, they've already been to them. The only one, they've been to LSU, but they're playing Texas A&M. That's the only one at this point I think that could be kind of squirrely. But there is a world, there's a path to College Game Day being in Memphis. Like I called it back in August and said that it should for that Memphis South Florida game, because that game is going to have playoff implications on October 25th.
Yeah, I think that was my first thought when they announced that Ole Miss and Georgia was going to be the host of College Game Day, as I was thinking, okay, well, that means they're probably not going to double up Ole Miss games, even though they're the visiting teams on both of them. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe don't care about the visiting team as much as the host site. But they would have to double up Ole Miss in that case if they're not going to go to Memphis for the South Florida game.
Because that's the other one is the LSU Texas A&M. That game is
could be a big game.
It could, because both teams are 5-1, but LSU has been just so hapless lately. Like they've just not been good. Let's see, and that game is in LSU. They love going to Baton Rouge. That would be the only one. It's currently a flex game. It could be 3:30 or 8. It's one of the flex games, which tells me that one's very much in play.
LSU plays at Vanderbilt that week.
And you know who's favored in that game on FanDuel.com right now?
Probably Vandy.
Vandy is favored right now.
Yeah, so A&M plays Arkansas that week. So I think you're looking at the wrong week there, or am I? So, I'm looking at the wrong week. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong week. Yeah,
South Memphis and Florida.
Yeah.
Or South Florida and Memphis.
So what I was getting in, this is the reason why I was looking at the wrong thing. LSU would have to beat Vanderbilt in Nashville for that to be for that Texas A&M LSU game to take priority over Memphis and South Florida. And they do try to throw a bone to a group of 5 game every year. So.
And that would be the one that you would do it at for sure.
Yeah. So,
all right, 3 minutes on the clock. Talk about Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really anything to talk about. Ole Miss struggled with Washington State, 11 11 a.m. kick in Oxford after a bye week. What you read all your press clippings. I think this is one of those things where Nick Saban always, I feel like, loved to win a close game against a team who had no business competing with Alabama. And that's because he could treat it as a loss. He could yell and scream and cuss and still have the win in his back pocket. And if you listen to Lane Kiffin's postgame, he was aggravated. He took shots at everybody. He said the quarterback played awful. He said the defensive line played awful. He took a shot at a particular defensive lineman for making a stupid personal foul penalty that extended the drive after a stop on third down in which Washington State went and scored. Like, this was your classic coming off of a bye week, reading your press clippings.
Peeking ahead.
You've got Georgia next week game. And thankfully they won it. I mean, we're talking about a whole different conversation if they would have lost that game. And it was possible. They could have. But Ole Miss was the better team. They won. The game I didn't feel like was super ugly. They just, in critical times, critical plays in that game, they didn't execute. I'm ready. I'm ready to see Austin Simmons again. He's just, Trinidad's great. He's great when it's out of sync a little bit. He's got a lot of that Johnny Manziel to him where it's like, if you really need him to step back and throw the ball, like maybe not, but his real magic is when he gets loose. Mm-hmm. He is missing too many guys. He's not throwing anybody open. If there is a deep shot down the field and it's caught, it's because the receiver makes a jump ball play. Like, I want to see somebody stretch the field. I know you're trading mobility for arm talent, and that is not something that you can just plug and play. But and I honestly don't think you do it going to Georgia either. But I don't envy Lane's decision, like his thought process through all this. But like, I just would love to see some Austin Simmons.
Well, you might get your wish. Well done on that. We're going to end it with that. I don't want to rush the Georgia-Auburn game because there's a lot of really good meat on the bone in that game. The Alabama-Missouri game was a grown man tackle football game. LSU, South Carolina, Arkansas, Tennessee. There's a lot to unpack with the remaining games. So we're going to punt those to tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll get a game preview for the Memphis Grizzlies as they get ready on Wednesday to play at Charlotte. We'll also update you on some NFL scores from the weekend, which, speaking of, before we get out of here, Drew, real quick, we have got Monday Night Football tonight, doubleheader tonight, Bills at Falcons on FanDuel right now. Bills and Falcons. Bills are a 3.5-point favorite over the Falcons. The over-under for Josh Allen is 228.5. Michael Penix is 225.5. Early thoughts, who do you think's winning this game?
I think the Bills are the best team in the AFC, and I have recently seen Atlanta get beat 30-0 by the Carolina Panthers. So this being a 3.5-point line is alarming to me. You probably should just take Atlanta because you saw what happened with Jacksonville and Kansas City last week. It's like, why in the world is Jacksonville only a dog by this much? Like, there's something there, and they ended up beating them outright. That's what this feels like to me, but I don't want any part of a Falcons bet at all.
Absolutely
in this game.
not, because Michael Penix has been the next Mike Vick, and he has been atrocious in that Carolina game. This is a game that, if I'm like, smart money doesn't bet on it, but you can bet some player props or same game parlays. You can get anytime touchdown, first touchdown score, any of the fun things that get your passing props to your own FanDuel if that is your fancy. I don't know that I would touch that game. I would touch the second game in the doubleheader, being the Bears at Commanders, 5.5-point favorite. I like the Commanders in this game. Jaden Daniels is coming back from injury. Bill Krosky-Merritt, or whatever his name is, has been really good. Oh, Bill, been running the ball super well and angry for the Commanders. I like what they're doing there. The over-under passing totals for Caleb Williams is 234.5. Jaden Daniels is 221.5. But he's also going to give you, according to FanDuel, around 30 yards on the ground. Drew, I would take the Commanders. Of the two, this is where I'm putting my money. Commanders 5.5.
Yeah, listen, Jane Daniels, really good. Dak Prescott having an amazing year. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he just is what he is.
Terrible.
They are all fighting for second best quarterback in the NFC East at this point. My man Jackson Dart going and beating Philly, the defending champs.
My favorite thing on X this
On
week
Thursday,
is that, somebody put
Scatabo
and said, "What's beating this duo?" And I've seen SATs, push doors that say pull, so many things have been it's been amazing.
It is. Jackson has been the best foil for that. They are buddies, but he's risking losing some IQ points by just being in the same picture as often as he Cam Scatabo's my favorite thing I saw is after that game they started leaking out some snippets of stories from over the season where they interview Giants players about Cam Scatabo, and one of the guys said, he said, I mean, I'm telling you, he's loud, and he just said, he's an idiot. I love him, but he's an idiot, and him and Dart are thick as thieves, and I love it.
It's 6 in the trap, that's all you gotta know, man. Well, that's going to do it for your Monday edition $2 Sports Show here in an hour and 16 minutes. This is what you get when we pre-record on a Sunday night. If you're still here, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. It helps us in the algorithm a ton. Leave us a comment. Tell us where you agree, disagree. Come back tomorrow as we talk more Grizzlies. We wrap up the college football weekend, and we talk about the best thing that we've ate. I whooped up something on a Blackstone tonight.
You whooped
fire.
it?
I whooped up something on a Blackstone that was fire. It was so good. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Y'all come back. We'll be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. In the meantime, go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right. With the $2, you always get what you pay for. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.